So to start the fall-autumn 2015 session, here's a lovely tune, well-known tune, Calliope House by Dave Richardson of the Boys of the Loch. Very well-known tune, and composed, I believe, to be played in the key of E major, but apart from the Boys of the Loch, almost everyone plays it in D, and that's the most practical key for you to learn it in for now. So we'll do it in D, and it's good exercise for fingering to learn it in E, of course, on the C sharp beatbox. But let's go. We might get a little bit of accompaniment from the neighbourhood crows here. Please do not adjust your set. Now you should probably repeat that second part, but it seems to want to go straight back into the first, so we'll make our minds up about that later. So let's take it the first part slowly. Now notice the structure. This is the structure of this piece is very clear, and knowing the structure, or understanding the structure if you like, or noticing the structure will make it easy for you to learn the tune, particularly because there are bits that keep coming back. In the first part we can say, here we go, we're using the, keep coming back to this high A here. Try that again. That's the first little phrase. Let's call it the question, the first question. Now let's answer that question. And the answer is left open. It's unresolved, hanging on this E here. So question. Answer. Ask the question again. The answer comes a little more emphatically that time. So those two answers, open answer and the closed answer, will come back in the second part. So basically, once you've learnt the first part, you have very little left to learn. In fact, you've only got like three phrases really to learn in the whole tune, you could say, although one of them has a slightly different ending. Not much to say about that. Keeping those A's nice and rhythmic is important. Now, one of the choices you have in the first part is whether to use your magic note of F sharp on the outer row or not. You can easily play the whole tune on the row, and nothing wrong with that. But if you want to have a little bit more flexibility of phrasing sometimes, a bit more slippy slidey stuff, you can use the outer row F sharp. And really, if you're going to be a C sharp D player, you need to know every choice you have. You don't necessarily always take the opportunity to use the magic note on the outer row, but you should know it's there and not just lazily play everything on the row. just because you can, because you're missing out on a lot of the possibilities if you do that. So let's break down that first part. Now, what you do will depend on the chords that you choose, and if you're playing a chord of D against some of these F sharps, well, then you're going to need to play them on the row so you can push F sharp as against D. So I would say that that F sharp is obviously going to be on the row. This one here could easily be on the outer row, because it's in the middle of a little run up, which is not on a D chord. You could easily play, if you like the sound of that better, play it on the row, but try it out on the magic note. The next one, you're probably going to play a D chord there. So if you play that all on the row, it would be like that, but you could easily play the second one of those on the outer row, including the grace note. So those are some choices you have. You could even play more on the outer row. You could play that entire phrase on the pull. That would involve a different chord choice, which we'll look at later on. But if you're not playing basses, feel free to do that. Okay, so that's the first part. Now the second part, whereas in the first part we kept coming back to this high A, now we'll come back to the low A. In fact, maybe this is the first part, I don't know, maybe they've been inverted, but this is the part I'm going to play second, and we use the low A. Pick up notes A, B. There we are, repeating that low A. Three E's there. So that's our question. First question in the second part. You get the same answer as before. And we ask the same question again. And again we get the more emphatic answer. So there we are, you have the whole second part there. A few little grace notes we can look at. To separate the E's there. To separate A's here. To separate F sharps there. Now let's look at some of the chords you can put there. Basically we'll be using a 3-chord trick. D, G and A, and occasional E minor, and maybe a B minor if we decide to make a certain choice in the first part. So block chords work best for me, and maybe played a little bit irregularly, not to be too predictable and not to get involved in an umpa kind of rhythm, which I don't like very much, and it's hard to do anyway. So that's D, A, D, A, D. G, D, A. Do it again. D. Yeah, if you wanted to do this bit on the outer row, occasionally you might, instead of playing G, D, A, you might play E minor, B minor, A. like that. So we could play. That's better. Second part. So there's Calliope House, and I hope you enjoy playing that tune.